Why don't you rate me and Logan?
You know how aging works. It's very difficult to maintain 3.75.
Coach Greg, in today's video, Clavicular says that Mike and Logan Paul are essentially ugly. That they're normies. You know Clavicular, he's not going to hold back any punches. And so he goes on to impulsive, and of course they had to ask him, can you rate me?
Why don't you rate me and Logan?
Oh, people love the rating thing.
In response, Clav immediately laughs. He's thinking, you really want me to rate you? He says, trust me, I'm not going to be biased. I'm going to give it to you straight. And so, does anyone think that Mike is going to get above average rating? You don't have to ask Clav. Look at the guy. Like, look at the aesthetics. He ain't no Coach Greg. And so, clearly, he's below average.
I'd probably rate you maybe a 3.75.
The thing with most people is if you give them anything below a 5 and they're offended. Guys, a 3.75 isn't all that bad. It's a little bit below average. Look at the guy. I mean, look at the guy. He looks like Adam Sandler, only worse. But he has something that I don't have. He's tall. And so despite the fact he's looks minning with his facial features, he's maxing with his height. And so he makes up for it.
Mostly because his interpupillary distance and also the longer mid-face would be the main.
Thanks to him for being able to accept his rating and not being overly sensitive, because some guys, they can't handle it. He's clearly confident. He asked for the rating. He knows he's going to get shit on, and he's okay with that.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
3.75 is great.
And so Logan's thinking 3.75 is great because he knows he mocks. It's easy to sit there and laugh when your friend is being, I guess, technically put down. He's saying you're a 3.75. When you know in your own heart of hearts that you're going to get a better score than him. It's easy. You know, you cheer for your friends so long as they're not better than you. A lot of people are like that. And so when you're extremely good looking and you have a fat friend, you get mad when people put them down. But if somebody said that your fat friend was better looking than you, hold me back.
Where does the rating start and stop? Is the rating strictly face related?
Yeah, he's ranking him on his face. He's not saying your athleticism, your physique. He's saying your face. Now, what I like to do is give 50% for the face and 50% for the body. And so if his physique was C-Bum, Chris Bumstead with him on the top, imagine, C-Bum looks like Mike. He still has a 3.75, but the physique is a 10, and so you add them up. 10 plus 3.75 is a 13.75. You divide it up, he's almost a 7. It's pretty damn good. And some people, they don't care if you have a butterface. You know, everything is hot butterface. And so you can make up for having a 3.75 by having nice abs, derriere, chest, whatever.
But you could, you know, add parameters or, you know, make clarifications. Like if you're rating someone's like total SMV, their sexual market value.
SMV, what exactly is that? Well, it's a rating of how valuable you are to the opposite sex. And so think of it like this. You're a baseball player. You're the best fielder in the world. You don't ever make an error. You strike everyone out. Amazing. But you can't hit the ball. Your SMV on the field is very high, but when you go to bat, it's not doing so good. So on average, perhaps you're mid. And so if you have a face, it's a 3.75, or perhaps you're only a 5'6" manlet like Coach Greg. Well, you can make up for that by being 6'5" when you're sitting on your wallet. If you have a better physique, you're hitting the gym, you got a proper tan, unlike Mr. Mike. You got a six-pack, you dress in a suit, you have a nice house, you drive a nice car, you wear an expensive watch. And of course, in addition to all those things, your personality, it counts more than you know. Do you command attention? Are you a leader? Do other people look up to you? Do you have a following? Are you a celebrity? And so when you add all of that in totality, that is your SMV. And so you could be as ugly as shit, a 1 out of 10. But you're 6'5". You're a billionaire. You're funny as shit and you're a celebrity. Do you really think that no one's going to date you? In comparison, you're a perfect 10. The best aesthetic face in the world. but you're 4'10". What do you think? Someone will still date you. They'll overlook you being 4'10". Probably somebody who's 4'6", but you're not getting as many points. You're as handsome as shit. You're a 10 out of 10, but you're 4'10", and you're poor. What are you going to do? You're cooked. Height is just as important as looks. Personality, also just as important as looks. And so, as long as you have something, do you have money? Do you have looks? Do you have a personality? If you have at least 1 out of 3, well, you have a very good chance. 2 out of 3, it's easy. All 3, hey, you're a gift of God.
That would include a lot of other metrics like...
Okay, what's my SMV?
It's probably a 9. 3.75 in the face. 6'3", that gives him perhaps a 10 out of 10 from height. Any taller than that, is it really going to be any more beneficial? I don't think so. 6'2" to 6.4, it's probably the ideal. Taller than that, kind of become a freak. Not everyone wants to have to jump up into the air in order to kiss their boyfriend. And add to that the fact he's making millions of dollars, the fact that he's got millions of followers. It doesn't get much better than that. And to add to this, he says he's really funny and he's hilarious in any room. He commands attention. Bro is at least a 9. And so he doesn't need a nose job or to smash his bones to increase the size of his mandibles. He doesn't need to do any of that. Now, would it hurt for him to lose some weight? I mean, look at Bro. If he lost 20 pounds, went to the gym, stopped dressing up like a slob, like Adam Sandler, of course his SMV could be higher.
What do you think Mike's sexual market value is?
extremely high percentile, top percentile SMV.
Top percentile, and so essentially saying the top 1%. And so what does that mean? It means out of an average room with 100 men, he's probably better than 99 of them just because your face is cooked. And honestly, 3.75, it's not that bad. If he had said a 1.75, it's going to be a lot harder. But frankly, he's mogging with his SMV.
But I'm happy that you said that because I think it gives other 3.75s like myself the ability to understand their power.
Yeah, I'm not going to give other 3.75s a lot of power. If you have millions of dollars and millions of fans and you're 6'3", hey, that's a different story. But most 3.75s are 3.75s everywhere. 3.75 in looks, they're not very tall, they're not rich, and they're not famous. What are you going to do? Well, you lean on your personality. You actually get one, you learn to talk to girls. And here's a little hint. Stop chasing 8, 9s, and 10s. Do you understand how many opportunities girls who are extremely good looking that they have in their DMs every other day, no, every other hour, there's some bro simping towards him. Oh, I'll fly you into Dubai. Please talk to me. I want to go on a date with you. I'll buy you the world. These girls are so used to people throwing money at them, throwing everything at them, that they kind of have too many options. And so, for example, you could be dating them and they're thinking, well, who else is out there? I'm with you, but he just wrote me that he wants to fly me to Dubai. He's going to take me on a yacht. He'll buy me a Bugatti.
The face and your looks are going to be the most important thing for getting a super high SMV.
I disagree. It's not just the face. Sexual market value is way beyond just your facial aesthetics. It isn't just your looks, but it's overall your presence. It's 50% the looks, 50% your body. And so just because you weren't blessed with the God-given aesthetics of a Coach Greg, not everyone can be as facially attractive as myself.
A powerful mandibular body, ideal gonial angle, rock solid ramus, deep set eyes, slightly positive canthal tilt, strong orbital rims with complementary zygomatic support.
God could not bless me with everything. He wanted to make it fair. And so he said, I'm going to give you everything, save your height. You're going to be a 5'6" manlet. I'm saying, well, yeah, I'm down with that. This'll do. I'll work on my physique. I'll study. I'll learn to have the gift of gab. And so it ascended me through hard work. Just because you're not facially attractive doesn't mean you can't work on the rest of you. And FYI, if you're not as visually appealing as you would like to be, most of you could go up at least 1 or 2 points just by losing some weight. Most people who do not look good, they're trying to bone smash, they're trying to hit themselves with hammers. All you have to do is lose some weight. The fat is covering your cheekbones. And so if you remove the fat, guess what's going to be underneath? Bones. And so everyone seems to be trying to look like Skeletor, but unlike Clavicular, you don't have to abuse Turk. You don't have to take abusive doses of Retta in order to lose some weight. You, of course, can get my frigging cookbook. You can go to the gym, you can lift weights, and don't get me started on Turk Builder Max. You don't think your face is going to ascend if you take Turk Builder Max? There are no 3.75s who take Turk Builder Max. It improves them higher than ever before. Combined with GO2 Max to improve your cardio, as well as GLP Max to reduce your cravings, your appetite goes down by approximately 28%. And by the way, this is all with a money-back guarantee and a $50 gift card. And so if you're interested, code Greg for 15% off. Click the link in the description.
Multi-million follower on social media pages, extreme amounts of wealth. So that's not something that the average 3.75 guy is ever going to be able to accomplish.
You can't just say, oh, but hey, if you're a 3.75, that's okay. Just make millions of dollars, get millions of fans, and be 6'3". These are very difficult things to accomplish. But as a 3.75, you can purchase HTLT supplements and you can go to the gym and you can get my cookbook. That is enough. If you go up 2 points, you go to a 5.75. You ascend from a 3.75 to a 5.75 and you date a 5. 5's great. She's average, but she's going to be there with you through thick and thin. And if she's not, you know the answer. There's the door.
Mike's been pulling very beautiful women for
since I was
life.
a kid, dude.
It's almost
like
it's almost like the things you just mentioned for him didn't matter.
He wasn't always this hideous. He wasn't always a 3.75. He's sitting back. He's relying on his height. He's 6'3". He's wealthy and he's famous. Do you think this guy lives in the gym? Does he look like somebody on Turk Builder Max? Of course he isn't. He's not even going to Algorex to get his blood work taken, where he could, for example, be taking enclomiphene. He could be given a GLP to help him lose the weight. You all have heard of GLPs. You've heard of Ozempic or tirzepatide. If you're obese and you're a 1.5, let's say, you gotta lose the weight. You do. Or you can continue to date ones. This is fine. You don't need to lose the weight. But if you want to date the 5s, you got to become a 5 yourself. Does that make sense? You know, I'm just speaking facts. He was pulling baddies since he was a teenager. Bro was 6'3". I always get a kick out of these guys saying, oh, I was ugly. I couldn't get anyone. Clav, he's 6'2" himself. Oh, I wasn't attractive, but yet I still got girls. Yeah, from up there, you were able to get some baddies. Try being a 5'6" man like Coach Greg, but yet even I could do it. And I know that facially I'm og. This is true. And I had the physique, winning bodybuilding competitions as a teenager, but I also had a personality. I dared to speak out, to say what I was feeling. And so if you are struggling with girls, I suggest that you practice. Remember the saying when you were a kid, your parents used to tell you, practice makes perfect. If you sit at home all day long playing your video games and you never talk to people in the real world, how are you ever going to get one? The first time you talk to a girl, you're going to sound like when Clavicular was talking to that bro that gave that OF girl over $3 million. Remember that 19-year-old? That girl who, and the first time he meets her is like,
you're much fatter in person.
What?
And so if you haven't essentially talked to people in months, you're a hermit. You're not going to know how to talk to the ladies. You're not going to know how to pull them.
In the priority factor in an SMV, I think might be humor, dude. It was able to help me overcome that issue.
They don't get the best poontang. Yeah, they get some, but it's not the best. And so picture this. You're really funny and you're 6'3" and you're saying you get the best poontang in the world. What if you look like The Rock? You're just as funny, just as tall, and now you're actually attractive. Do you not think you get better poontang? There are levels to this shit. You go from the 8s and 9s to the actual 10s.
Why do ugly funny guys get the best pussy?
I wouldn't really say ugly, funny guys.
Let me answer the question why. You asked why, I'm going to answer you. Clavy did not give a good answer. When you are funny, humorous, comical, it shows how intelligent you are, and we've actually evolved to be this way. Guys, I did a deep dive on this just last night. This is what I do. Ask Mepsigram. I studied this. For example, this dog.
Jackie, mate, who did this? Did you do that?
The dog, he knows he did bad. But the dog, it closes the eyes and you can't see me because my eyes are closed. But let me just peek a little bit. to see, is my master still looking at me? And so we watched it several times. It's gotten perhaps 10 million views because it's funny. It scratches an itch in your brain. It releases dopamine. And so when you say things that are funny, it makes you feel safe. It releases dopamine and you feel good. And people like to feel good. And when you're at other people who make you feel good, well, you're going to want to spend more time with them. And the more time you spend with someone, the more they're going to get to know you, the real you, and not just the 3.75 that's in front of them. And they will eventually fall for you. Oftentimes, this is how life works. And so we've evolved so that comedy makes us feel safe. You can let your guard down because throughout history, we've had to defend ourselves. We've had to be careful. You never know what's going to happen. But when you can sit down and have a laugh, you don't have to worry. So long as you have a minimal amount of attractiveness, 3.75, for some, it's not enough. But if you can be at that minimum, and for me, I always say, you can get somebody perhaps 5 points ahead of you. And so if your face is a 3.75, you can probably pull girls as high as 8.75. Any higher than that, the 9s and 10s, you might pretend that that girl's in love with you, that she wants you, but she's using you for your money. Now, she can get away with it for a few years, but trust me, it's not going to work. If you can make a girl laugh, that is special. It's almost equivalent to how they feel when they're petting an animal. They're relaxed, they're feeling good, their guard is down, and so they're no longer scared of you. If you can't tell a joke, if you're not comical, and you have the 9.9, they're not into you. Yeah, they want to look, but if you're a creep, a weirdo, it's not going to work. Don't think that life revolves around your looks. You are not just the 1 foot dimensions above your neck. You're everything else.
All right, I'm up.
Yeah.
Rate my look.
I would give him about a 6. Like, as he is right here, and he's not showing off his physique. We're showing this. He's essentially got some kind of a mop. I don't know if he's trying to dress like Sam Sulek here. He's about a 6. He's above average. He's nothing special, but yeah, a 6 from Coach Greg.
Oh, are we going to go like current looks or like when you were, younger? Because how old are you right now?
31.
Okay.
Imagine the insult, the backhanded compliment. Are we going about right now or when you're younger? Because clearly, you've let it slide. Imagine once he gets to being 50. I'm a 50-year-old Coach Greg. What is Logan Paul, 30? Bro, you've almost already lost it.
I'm going to say 6.5.
Not even a 7.
6.5 is a high rating coming from Clav. He's saying not even a 7, bro. Ego much?
Whenever people do ratings, for some reason they assume that 7 is average, but really 5 is average, right? 5 is 50th percentile.
And so on the decile scale, just so you know, a 3 is clearly unattractive. A 4, below average. 5, average, normal looking guy. A 6, attractive enough that strangers notice. Strangers notice Logan Paul. Hey, not bad. He's above average. 6.5 is very attractive. That's what Clav gave him. And so he literally gave him a compliment. And Logan Paul took it as an insult. I'm a 7 at least. What's wrong with you? A 7. Top few percent. A pretty boy. Model tier in normal environments. 7.5. Extremely rare, and 8 is elite facial genetics. People consistently react to your appearance. That's an 8, guys. A 9 is almost unrealistic. It's the top 0.01%. That is 1 in 10,000. We're talking about a 22-year-old Coach Greg or peak C-bum. And a 10, basically, theoretically, / perfected fantasy standard. There are no 10s. And so 9 is the kind of face that you can't get out of your dream. Once you've seen it, you go to bed at night and you keep thinking about it. You're like, oh my goodness, did you see bro at the gym? What was that? Like, who looks like that? It's on the cover of a magazine. And so Logan, you're a 6. He gifted you a 6.5.
What would you rate yourself?
I wouldn't. I just don't think it's a responsible thing to do.
Exactly. Clav knows better than to rate himself because he doesn't want to develop body dysmorphia, to feel inferior, to feel like he's not good enough. And so he would never do that to himself, but holy cow, let's do it to everyone else. And so everyone else is screwed. We have people going on the internet to mug, going head to head. Ready? oh, you're an 8.1, he's a 7.7, you mogged him. How do you think that's doing for people's self-esteem? It's not good, but remember, nothing has changed. When I was a kid, I used to go on dating apps. It was called Hot or Not. You uploaded your photo, and it gave you a rating. And so, of course, I would put all my bodybuilding photos, modeling, and so on, and consistently would get 9.7, 9.8, 9.9. And so, of course, a young coach, Greg, I could date with no problem. They did not care if I was 5'6" because my photos they mogged. Now, when I would meet these ladies in person, sometimes they would say, hey, you're too short for me. I thought you were 5'10" minimum. And I'm thinking, how does height matter? I did not realize that height was a thing, but that was in my early 20s. Now I realize how redonkulous girls are. They all want to feel petite. I want to feel small. I want you to be 6 or 8 inches taller than me. What is wrong with you? Meanwhile, they're 50 pounds overweight and they're worried about being made to feel small. Go on a freaking diet.
I would have said, personally, when people ask me what I think I am on a scale of 1 to 10, I say 8. And I feel comfortable in that.
He's comfortable in an 8. Elite facial genetics, people consistently react to your appearance. I mean, his physique, most certainly. He has an amazing physique if his shirt were off. But as he's sitting there with the jacket on top and the messed up hair and the fuzzy beard, it's not doing you any favors.
You know how aging works. It's very difficult to maintain.
And so basically you've gotten old. If you want to stay younger than last time, GO2 Max, you guys know it has NMN. You can do your own research. I don't need to yap all day. I already advertise enough. Code Greg, 15% off.
At the end of the day, I would rather my dick never work again and keep all of my hair than anything.
Let's analyze that. Let's break that apart. I would rather keep my hair than have a functioning manhood. You have no hair, but it doesn't work. You can pull baddies, but it doesn't work. What then is the point?
How would you use a non-functioning dick, even if you have hair?
You wouldn't, but you just at least they'll be able to mog people.
Does the mog actually win in life? Like, how is mogging the only thing that matters? Now, if mogging allows you to go home and have sexy time because it actually works, then, well, hey, it's the best of both worlds. But he's saying he'd rather have his hair than be able to procreate. That makes no sense.
If you've got no hair, it's pretty much done.
I mean, The Rock is bald. I feel like he isn't done. I feel like The Rock mogs Clav, despite having no hair. And so he's making it look like having no hair is the worst thing that could happen. No, it's being obese. You're going to tell me that you can be an 8, 9, or a 10 while being morbidly obese? You cannot. You cannot even be a 5. If you are morbidly obese, your looks automatically are below a 2. And so, do you want that? And so if you do not want that, lose the weight. You could be, for example, a 1.75. You're 100 pounds overweight. You lose 100 pounds, and now you're a 9. How do you know? You don't know what looks you have because it's covered underneath. And so if you're interested in watching the full podcast, it was an hour and 35 minutes long. To me, this is the most interesting part for myself. And so, hey, watch what you want. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algo for Algo RX. Watch one of those 2 bloops. If you want to get sponsored or coach or sell my shit in your store, click the link in the description. And until next time, I am out.